welcome to today's Vehicle Visionary. This is what I've been waiting to do for a long time, and I'm glad to be able to present to you today the 2019 Ford F-250 Super Duty, and it's also the King Ranch Edition and the Platinum Edition. And I'll show you what all that means as we go through the review of today's featured vehicle. But the 2019 Super Duty Ford F-250 King Ranch Edition is what I would personally call a luxury work truck. I'm going to tell you what, that describes this truck perfectly. Let's start off with the outside and I'll tell you about that, and I'll explain why I call it a luxury work truck as we work our way around the outside of the truck into the interior where the luxury truly resides. Now, starting off here on the front end of the 2019 Super Duty, there's a lot of chrome. You can see chrome on the bumper, it's on the grille. The headlights really set this truck off. I love the outer LEDs that just make seeing not only the running lights, but also the headlights. Everything just really pops, and it's really easy to see if you're driving this truck at night, not only because of the height, but just the size of the lights themselves. And there's some other things on the front end that I want to show you that are very interesting. Now, obviously you have the common tow hooks. Those are chrome. They fit perfectly with the chrome bumper and the chrome on the grille, and it just sets the rest of the truck off with the way the lines are set, and everything just seems to mold together perfectly. But I also want to show you right here across the front of the hood, it says Super Duty. I mean, that's just almost menacing. It just really speaks volumes of what this truck's really all about. But one of the most interesting features is actually found on the top of the hood. It's kind of an opposite way of what you would normally see the hood molded, where there's kind of an indentation in the middle. I don't know why that just looks so good, but it's just kind of inset that way. I really like the way that looks. It just sets this truck off and says, this thing is meant for business. Of course, you have the towing mirrors right here. They have the side markers, the blinkers right here. It also has Ford in the blinker on the side mirrors. I really like that. That tells me something about what I would call added value on this truck by the designers at Ford. That's just a nice, it doesn't have to be there. It's a nice little feature and just reminds you of what you're driving. And I think it just really sets this off in one of those small little ways that you might not notice that really sets this truck apart. Of course, you also have the King Ranch logo here on the badge on the side of the truck. It's chrome, it says F-250. It really makes the side of the truck pop. Now, one more thing I'd like to show you on the exterior of the 2019 F-250 Super Duty. It tells you all about what's under the hood. The 6.7 liter Power Stroke diesel. Now, to get your 6,400 pound F-250 down the road, this 6.7 liter turbo diesel makes 450 horsepower, and you're hearing this correctly, I am not saying this incorrectly, 930 foot-pounds of torque. That means you can tow a lot and carry a lot. The power plant underneath the hood of this truck allows you to tow up to 21,000 pounds and carry a payload of up to 7,500 pounds. That is very impressive. And of course, the 2019 F-250 Super Duty King Ranch does come as the FX4 package. That means it is four-wheel drive. In fact, there's probably few, if any, of these sorts of trucks in this day and age that you cannot find in four-wheel drive. And here on the back end, this is where some impressive information is found about your 2019 F-250 Super Duty. Of course, you have the absolutely stunning King Ranch here. This only comes on the Platinum Edition, but that is done in chrome. It looks absolutely spectacular and just sets this truck off. Of course, you have your sensors for backing up to make sure you don't hit anything. The camera is right here just above the release for the tailgate. In fact, speaking of that, I love this. There's just a button right here that you push, and you just let the tailgate open all by itself. Now, obviously, this is a large truck. I stand at 5'10", and you can see this actually comes up a little bit above my waist, where I would have to try and get into the tailgate or onto the tailgate to get into the bed of the truck. But you know what? That's no problem. You just push this button right here. out comes the step. But even beyond that, there's also this handle right here. You just pull that out, it locks in place, and you can step right in to the bed of the truck. In the bed of the 2019 F-250, you actually have 4 different tie-down points. That's absolutely incredible, one on each corner of the bed. But what's even better than that, I can't really give you the greatest shot of it right now because it's a nice, beautiful, sunny day here in northwest Louisiana, but there are actually 2 LED lights, one set on each side of the bed, and you get in, you just push the button, and it lights the entire inside of the bed up. It is an absolutely amazing truck. Plus, you have your sliding window that is automatically opened. It's electric here in the back window. No more reaching back and having to unlatch it and push it open like the old days. That was quite a while back, of course, wasn't it? And stepping back out is just as easy as stepping in. Just simply step to the edge of the bed, grab the handle, step down onto the step that is covered conveniently with grip tape so you're not going to slip, and step out of the truck. There's 2 different buttons you have to use, one little button, one little lever at the bottom. You can put the handle back inside the tailgate. The step conveniently slides right back into place. You close your tailgate and you're ready to go. One thing I really love about this truck is when you go to get in, it looks like there's no step here. That is until you open the door. In fact, here's something really good for you to know. If you have an older truck that doesn't have this feature on it, there are aftermarket steps like this that are electric that are available for you to install on your truck. Before I step in to the 2019 F-250, I want to show you something really cool about this. Of course, there's the common seat adjustments on the side of the seat here, but this round button in the back, and you have this both on the front passenger and the driver's seat. So not only does the driver get this, but the passenger does too. If you push this button right here, the little round button in the back, you actually get a massage. That is absolutely awesome. Moving on to the driver's side door, of course you have a plethora of switches, the common switches for unlocking and locking the doors, all of the windows, the sunroof, the mirrors, but also right here what you see is the memory for the driver's seat, and there are actually 3 different settings for possibly 3 different drivers if you have that many people driving your truck. That is tremendous added value. Okay, so here we are inside the cab of this absolutely stunning 2019 F-250, and I'm going to show you why I call this a luxury truck. And we've already started with the driver's side door. Now the passenger side door, as you can see, is very minimal. It still has that amazing wood grain panel on that, as does the driver's side door, and actually so do the passenger doors in the rear. That is a really nice touch. But when you get in here and you look at your instrument cluster, everything is easy to read. You not only have your typical speedometer and tachometer, you can keep up with your boost pressure and many other settings. The steering wheel is filled with all sorts of features, kind of the common thing you would have in this day and age. You can answer your phone, you can change all sorts of different settings for the radio and for the truck itself. And then as you start to move over to the infotainment system, the screen right here in the middle, you've got 2 nice large air conditioning vents on each side of that, as also the other 2 on the very outside of the dashboard. This truck gets plenty of good airflow for keeping you cool during the summer and warm during the winter. But one of my favorite things is the 360-degree camera, and it is so easy to use. Just this top right button right here above the screen, and then you can cycle through all of the different screens that the cameras allow you to use, and I absolutely love that. Now, one thing that I think is very interesting is the fact that on the grill of this truck is a nice little feature that I don't think I've seen before. It might be out there on other trucks, but what I'm pointing out right now on the screen, right there to the left of the camera on your screen, you can actually see the camera lens right there to the left. That is actually a mechanism that cleans the camera if it happens to get dirty. I love that. That way, you're always going to be able to see if you need to use the camera on the front end of this Super Duty. Of course, you can always set everything on the screen. You can also use the buttons right down here to do everything manually. It just depends on what your preference is. I love the fact that there are pre-wired switches across the top of the truck right here. There's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different switches. So you can actually set up a lot of different things, from a winch to anything that you could possibly want. If you, for some reason, as if you think the front end of this truck doesn't have enough lighting on it already, you could add accessory lights of some sort, some kind of fog lights or something like that that are further down on the bottom of the truck. I don't know, just whatever you can think of. I'm just throwing stuff out there that I'm thinking of. Looking down further into the console here, I love the wood grain finish on the cover here in the middle. There's more storage right here in the middle. There's 2 USB ports. You can just push on this cover right here and it comes back, and then you can just slide it back open again. But here's something I absolutely love. Have you ever gone somewhere, say you're picking up 3 or 4 drinks and not just 2? You know, you see there's 2 drink holders right here, but what happens if you order 4? It's kind of hard to hold those if you don't have someone in the truck with you. Well, check this out. All you have to do is reach down and slide over this portion that is right over the top of these 2 drink holders, and all of a sudden you have 4, and then you can shove it back the other way if you want to just use this area on the left for storage. There's also a lot of storage right here in the center console. You do have a couple more drink holders right here in the back. Those are for the passengers. In fact, speaking of the back seat of this truck, let me show you what's back there before we move on. Open the door, the step comes out, put your hand on the grab handle and hop right in. I'm going to tell you what, the amount of space back here is absolutely incredible. I'm 5'10", and the owner of this truck, I know he's probably 6'1", 6'2" maybe. He's a little taller than I am, and the seat is set at his personal setting for driving this truck. And I mean, I would not get uncomfortable. I can almost stretch my legs all the way out. It is absolutely incredible how comfortable it is back here. And back here in the back seat, you really get to take advantage of the view of this stunning moonroof. The front and the back are both open. This glass makes it great view. I love what you can do with this. We're not going to open it today because it's a little bit hot, even in early April in Northwest Louisiana. I'm actually wiping some sweat from my brow right now. That wasn't just for effect of the video. I really am sweating a little bit because it's warm today. So if it was in the mid to low 70s or a little bit cooler, I guarantee you when we go out for our test drive in just a little bit, I would open that up. Now moving on to the center console for the rear passengers in this awesome truck, you have 2 drink holders, 2 air conditioner vents. You actually have a port that contains 2 USB ports. You can plug in right here, as you can see, if you needed to plug in, I don't know, whatever you needed to use on the side of the road, or if you were out on a job site and you needed to use, say, a saw or something like that that required power. You've got your power right here. It even has the ground on it right there. That's perfect. Somebody was really thinking when they put this in. If you have, say, a little electric air pump, you can plug that in right here if you happen to need to air up one of your tires or a friend's tires or someone you just run across on the side of the road. But this is absolutely incredible. I just love how accessorized this truck is. And as simple as it is, you still, behind both the driver and passenger seats, of course, you have some storage right here. You can even fold the seats up so that you can have even additional storage in the back seat of your F-250. So, how does the F-250 drive? Let's take it out on the road and find out. One thing I want to show everybody, the remote on this thing is absolutely almost gargantuan. You know, the owner referred to this as a remote control size key fob. It's pretty big. In fact, I mean, my hand's about average size, but you can kind of see how that fits in there. That is a big key fob. That's why there's nothing else attached to this. It's just the fob by itself. You can almost do some curls with that and actually build your biceps. But still, I have nothing to complain about. That is absolutely cool. I think that's a neat feature. Okay guys, here we are out on the road with the 2019 F-250 Super Duty, and we're just going to take it down the road here a little bit. I don't really have a really good interstate or anything to take it on in case y'all wanted me to do that, but I'm just going to take it out and enjoy the drive and just kind of have some fun here and show you what this truck can do. Once we get a little bit away from all this traffic here, we'll be able to kind of speed up some. But I'll tell you what, one thing I've noticed about this truck already, we don't have the best roads here in Louisiana. And so the fact that this truck's riding so well, considering what it is, I think speaks volumes. I remember the days, it's been a long time, when Fords were some of the worst riding trucks on the road, but that is not the case anymore. And I'll tell you what, as big as this truck is and as tall as it is, this is the first time I've driven this particular truck, and I feel right at home. I'm really comfortable just moving around. I just changed lanes in it, and I am just having a great time. This truck drives so well. Again, I would use the word luxury. Okay, one of my favorite things to do is see how a vehicle accelerates. So let's give the 2019 F-250 a little bit of a run. Wow, I am absolutely amazed at the pickup that this truck has. Wow. I mean, if you saw my McLaren review a couple of videos back, it's nothing like that, but for a truck that weighs over 6,000 pounds, I am really impressed. I mean, you can feel the 450 horsepower and the 930 foot-pounds of torque when you step on the loud pedal in this truck. This is an awesome truck. It will get you down the road, and it will do it in a quick and efficient manner. I mean, it is absolutely awesome. So I'm going to take this down to a road where there's a few twists and turns and just kind of see how it handles there. But I'm going to tell you what, this truck doesn't have major oversteer or anything like that. Now, of course, I don't have a trailer on it or anything like that, but I can tell you, the truck drives well. The body roll seems to be very minimal for a vehicle this size. Everything on the dashboard is very easy to see. It's easy to see all of your gauges, the tachometer, the speedometer, the boost for the turbocharger. Everything is within easy reach. I mean, I moved the seat up just a little bit because, like I said, my friend who owns this truck is a little taller than I am. But I really didn't have to do much, and from where I sit, I can reach everything very easily. I didn't have to adjust much. This truck is something that if you're not used to driving a truck this size and you ever had the chance to, don't feel intimidated. This truck is so easy to drive. I love the way the steering wheel feels. It's a nice leather-wrapped steering wheel. It's very comfortable. Even with the large bezels and everything on here, it's still so easy to drive this truck. I just really love it. So we're going to take a little turn here. We're going to drive over some railroad tracks. And again, actually, this truck rides better than my F-150 that is my daily driver. I am really impressed, and the acceleration is what amazes me. I mean, you can probably hear that. I hope you can hear the motor on the video, but wow, that is just absolutely incredible. And of course, you know, you have to take into consideration that acceleration means a lot to me, but that also speaks volumes of the power and the torque that's under the hood of this truck. Okay, so here we go. This is a road I'm really familiar with, but I'm used to driving my own vehicles on this road, so this is a heavier vehicle than what I normally drive, but I can tell you again, very minimal body roll, not really much of a noticeable issue with any kind of oversteer or anything like that. I haven't really done anything major in that respect, but I just love how easy this truck is to drive. A lot of people are intimidated by something this size, but to be honest with you, this is probably the easiest truck of this size that I've actually driven. I'm really impressed. Takes bumps really well. It's not a rough ride. It's not a jarring ride when you drive over a decent bump like I just did. You probably couldn't tell in the video, but I'll tell you one thing that really is beneficial on this truck, and I didn't take the time to look up the wheelbase on this truck, but that is beneficial. A longer wheelbase is going to give you a smoother ride in most cases, and in this truck it really does. I have to say, I'm very impressed. I like the size of the windshield. That's one thing about having a daily driver. If I was going to have another truck as a daily driver, then I think this one would be great for that because of the large windshield. It's easy to see out of the back window. You can actually see pretty much the entire back window from the rear view mirror. You have the large towing mirrors that you can either extend out or bring back into their stock position. But I'll tell you what, everything is so easy to see because you have the large mirrors. You know, the rear view mirror in the center of the windshield is really not much larger than what you would normally have. It isn't loaded down with switches. In fact, there really aren't any switches on here at all. I haven't looked at that, but now that I'm kind of paying attention to it, it's very minimal, which is not a bad thing. I do think that is an auto dimming rear view mirror. Wow, just another great luxury item for this truck. I just love running through the gears. This truck shifts very smoothly. I mean, you can't beat it. It's an absolutely incredible truck. One thing, and I haven't asked my friend who owns this truck about this, but as I've looked at several of these 2019 F-250s, and one thing I've noticed is that they almost always, if not 100% of the time, don't come with a bed liner. And when you're paying for a truck, this truck retails for roughly $80,000 without incentives. You could probably get one for anywhere from $72,000 to $78,000 with incentives, depending on where you might live. I know I looked at one late last year here in Northwest Louisiana. It was retailing for roughly $80,000, but it's kind of unusual that you would spend that much money on a truck and not have a bed liner. This truck does have a bed liner, as you saw earlier in the video, but to not have a bed liner when you spend that kind of money on a truck is kind of a strange thing. So here's what I would recommend if you're going to buy a truck like this, and whether you're getting any discounts, any incentives or not, you know what you might want to do? You might want to just ask and just negotiate into the price of the truck a bed liner. And that, my friends, is the 2019 Ford F-250 King Ranch Edition. Not only King Ranch, but the Platinum Edition. What an incredible truck. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Let me know if you like these kind of videos, if you want to see me do more of this, or the supercars, or what you want me to do here on Vehicle Visionary. If you live in or around the Shreveport, Louisiana area, Northwest Louisiana, I would love to review your car or truck. So get in touch with me. My email address is on the screen and in the description of the video. If you live a little bit further away, maybe we can work something out, but let me know. Please be sure to subscribe if you haven't. Browse the channel, see what else is here. I've got a lot of other great content. I appreciate each and every one of you for taking the time to watch. Have a great day, guys. See you next time.